C, how's it going? I wanted to take advantage of the finally some nice weather we have here, sitting out in my backyard, to tell you about a legitimate grail that I caught. And if you've watched my videos, you know I don't really like that term. I don't like to refer to grails as grails, just because, you know, it's all subjective in a sense, but every record turns up eventually, you know, pretty much. Some are basically invisible, as has been said. And then there's others that are incredibly rare and pop up maybe once and you get your shot. Well, I have one of those records here. And it wasn't on my list of 2023 targets, mainly because it is so rare, but it's always been in my want list. This goes back to maybe about a month ago. I put this order in on Discogs. Going to bed one night, I always check my want list. Like I said, I'm looking for those targets. And looking by the most newest added, and boom, up pops this record that I'm going to show you. And the price was high. The price was higher than it's ever sold for, but not a crazy amount. Like, it's not like one of these records that's sold for $250 and someone's asking for $800. No, it wasn't incredibly overpriced, but it was definitely high. And I looked at it, I'm like, the seller was a well-regarded seller, and the record looked clean according to their description. It was in Japan, and the shipping was free. And as has been discussed lately, specifically Dave, VC Ambassador, has talked about it. I've talked about it with him. Records from Japan right now are the way to go. It gets here in like a couple of days. The shipping was $25, well, on a different order was $25, and it's getting here in 3 or 4 days. To me, that's not bad in a way, especially if it's something you don't think you're going to see. But in this case, the shipping was free. Tracked, registered shipping from Japan. It was late. I looked at it. I'm like, no, I'm not going to do it. Like, you know, I'm trying to be careful. And went to bed. Next morning, get up, do my thing. Before I do my thing, yes, I get up and check, you know, do a lay of the land. And yeah, the record's still available. Go to do my morning routine, exercise, the whole bit. Come back, it's available. I'm looking at it, I'm like, you know, this may be that one shot. So I start rationalizing as one does. And I start thinking, I'm like, you know, all I got to do is pull three. I picked out 3 records. I'm like, if I sell these 3. All right, so here are the 3 big pieces that I sold off within, well, one of them I've sold already as we're recording this. The other 2 I have not yet, but I'm confident within the next week the other 2 will sell. These 3 are what I pulled immediately to pay for this big piece that I'm about to show you in the other video. I bought the record ahead of time, as I've probably said, so these are really, I posted right away to pay back, so that it really was an even exchange. Here we go. So these are the 3. I already sold this one within a day of placing it, putting it online. The definitive collection of the Strut series, Nigeria 70s Strut series. All 4 volumes in a box set. This came out in 2018 or 19. It was very cheap. It was like $70 for this, which is a pretty good deal. And they only made 500. I have the original hype sticker in there. I'm not going to take it out because this thing's sold. I got to ship it. But it includes all 4 volumes of the great Strut Nigeria 70 series, with booklets and extra information and all that. I don't know if all 4 of them are out of print on vinyl individually or were pressed on vinyl individually. I forget. But only 500 box sets, and they never repressed this. And at the time, I got this for very little. I got this for cost too, so that was pretty sweet. So this is one of the 3 that I've sold to pay for this heavy piece. Here's one I think I've shown at some point, Lincoln Street Exit. It is a good psych record on mainstream, but even at the time when I was getting them, like, you know, it's not like the top shelf. It's a little bit on the second-rate side, but this is a nice white label promo. This is still for sale. Hopefully it's gone by the time you see this, but Native American rock band, signed to Mainstream. Were previously known as Exit. In Trance, and then they became Exit. Anyway, in Trance band. This is Lincoln Street, Exit, Drive It, on Mainstream from 1968. Wiley promo. And the other piece I just showed recently, I don't want to sell this at all, but International Harvester, Got Rosemary. I'm selling this because it's a Finnish repress. It's not the actual first Swedish press, but it's early. It's from like 68. It is on the Love label too. A lot of the Love stuff was pressed in Finland. Great avant-garde experimental Swedish psych. Beautiful cover. I already have the reissue in the box set, the Harvester box set, so I have that too. And I want to upgrade this to the original Swedish anyway, and this is still worth a good amount of money. So that's the three pieces that I have sold or selling for what I'm about to show you. Now I don't want this to hit my account, so I'm like, I can use PayPal credit, sell the 3 records, and it's basically a trade. So I take a look and I do the old button smash, and I go for it. I do the thing that you're supposed to do with any purchase like this, is I message the seller. I said, hey, can you send clips? Hey, can you send pictures? They do all of that, super responsive. The clips sound amazing, clean. It was graded as VG+, but it's playing better than that. You are hearing the actual record right now, and you know what it is already if you recognize what this is. And you may have saw it in the beginning there, but I'm so stoked and so happy with how it is and the condition. It is the very first Harold Budd record, The Oak of the Golden Dreams, and Corridor, the heart of the person here, Eric Orr. This is Harold Budd's first record for the Advance label. This is very rare, never been reissued. It has been reissued on CD with Richard Marksfield, a 2 for CD that came out in the 90s maybe. That's the only edition of this that there is. You can stream this online. This Advance label, I have a bunch of stuff on this label, but it's all pretty tough to find. Some of it's not so much, but I never see it. So we're listening to the first track, or the A-side, Corridor. Corridor, D-O-D'-O-R-R. Originally designed in '69 for the sculptor Eric Orr. The 2-track organ tape was recorded in '70 at the Immaculate Heart College with the assistance of Doran Stalvey and Robert Chadwick, who are composers in their own right. And it's basically what you're hearing. This beauty, this serene composition with soprano sax that comes in. It's going to come in and might be coming in right now. But the soprano sax is played by Charles Orenia. First performed it in May '70 at the University of California, but this version was recorded in 1971, December '71 in Los Angeles. And here's a fly flying around my rare record. But Charles Orenia didn't do a whole lot. He appears on a couple of prog records, but really great soloist over this backing. Just stunning, and it sounds as good as I hoped it would. I'll show you the labels real quick. As I said, never been reissued, and it is beautiful. Beautiful shape. I feel a little nervous handling this outside, but I do it for you, DC. Anyway, this one is based on the Corridor is based on a Dorian, one of the modal scales in popular music, or I guess you might say jazz. You have the different modal scales that are different than your major or minor scales. Dorian, Lydian, Phrygian, Mixolydian. I believe this is. It's basically, and I'm going to show you here on the piano, D flat minor and B major, which makes up the Mixolydian mode on D flat. So you're seeing that is those two chords kind of combined gives you one of the modal scales. In this case, Mixolydian. It's usually like a whole tone scale, I believe it is. So that is the A side. The second side, the Oak of Golden Dream, which was the title of the record, is all buckla.
recorded at Cal State Arts in Burbank, 1970. Real-time situation, a single performance going directly to magnetic recording tape. The tuning of the treble cantilena, done wholly by ear, is 1, 3, 4, 5, and 7 on E flat. And I just love this simple cover. I love the font. And the advanced label, I won't go into some of the records, but it is a non-profit, I think it says. Yeah, non-profit educational enterprise for the recording of new music. And this is, what, 6-7 years before the Pavilion of Golden Dreams. Harold Budd's, sort of debut, but this is really his debut. His most widely known album and wonderful record on the Obscure label. But yeah, this is the most I've ever paid for a record. Broke the record for the record. The record for the record for the record. But in a sense, I didn't actually pay for it, which feels good. I've now sold the 3 records that I picked out. By the time the clip you saw earlier when I was showing you the 3 records I had pulled to sell, the first, by now they're all gone. The box set sold very quick, and then the Lincoln Street exit sold just a few weeks later, and finally it did sell International Harvester. So I'm glad to have done that. I'm glad to have felt it all worked out. It all worked out good. I got rid of a few records I didn't want to, but just to see this, I just maybe we'll see this again. Maybe one of you has it. I don't know, but I just felt like this is my chance, and I didn't really see it, the chance that it would pop up much cheaper than this. So here it is. With that, I'm going to start a piece of the recording I did of the B-side, which is the Oak of Golden Dreams. And we're going to hear some of that. And we're going to say goodbye. And I don't know, let me know what you think. I am calling this a Grail. It is a Grail. We'll call it a Grail. So hit me with some comments if anyone has any questions about this, anything like that. The Cellar, I'll recommend The Cellar for sure in Japan. And we're going to finish up with another sample of the Oak of Golden Dreams, Harold Budd. Thanks, VC.